Folks, it's just if you really understood the disinformation that's out there, honest to God, just about every single video on YouTube is disinformation to some extent. I'm telling you right now, especially I've come across this in all genres for which I have expertise enough to know. So obviously the videos most specifically that are disinformation, I'm talking about the investment related, economics related videos, especially that have an agenda. And I'm telling you right now, I can post any video and look at it and just go through and chop it apart. It would take me, unfortunately, it would take too long to do that. A half-hour video, let's say, or even a 20-minute video would take more than an hour. And you can just select a video for any of these guys, and I can chop it the fuck up. How do I know this? Because I've seen it. I know how these people are. Today we're going to look at, and I just ran across this recently. I don't know. There's a lot of material, actually, and I'm probably going to go all over the place because there's a few things I want to talk about, including some of the recent videos that I've posted. But really, the main focus is to discuss the gold pumpers. Now, it's pretty obvious to those who know me. I can guarantee you there's nobody in the world who can come close to me, my expertise on exposing this fraudulent scheme. I've been uncovering the gold pumping scene for more than 15 years. Nobody can come close. Why? Well, you have to have a high level of expertise in the capital markets, first and foremost. But also, you have to ask yourself the question, who's going to spend the time? And I've spent thousands and thousands of hours making hundreds of videos, writing hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 articles exposing the whole gold pumping crime syndicate. Who's going to spend that time doing that when it earns me not a single motherfucking penny? Not a single motherfucking penny. No one's going to do that but me. Okay? And that's what I've done. Why? Because the whole purpose is to stamp down, to eliminate disinformation, to set the story straight, to help people from being defrauded. That's what I'm all about. That's what I've always been all about. Okay? I could be making vast fucking fortunes. I've spent 90% of my time over the years exposing scams and scammers and frauds. 90% of the time that I work versus 10% of the research. Okay? I could be going over my content of many of these publications that I do and showing my track record. Well, I don't have the time because I'm exposing all these fraudsters. You see? And of course, I get no fucking help, no support, no nothing, no credit, no nothing. Folks, that's what happens to a person who's at the top of their game and who exposes the fucking crime syndicate. They want you to not exist. You will not exist. You will have no exposure. I've lived this life. I know exactly how it works. And it's funny because you got people out there who still think people like, what's his name? Julian Assange. He's a hero. He's a fucking fraud. He's a gatekeeper. Folks, write this the fuck down. If you haven't already learned this, anyone who gets exposure has been bought off. Okay? Number 2, from the rules of early propaganda, you know who's behind propaganda, who's created, you can take a look at the Bernays and some of these other people from a long time ago. Any exposure is good exposure. Remember that. Any exposure is good exposure. You understand? Because they're getting exposure. That's what it's all about. Exposure. Exposure leads to promotion. So you can have someone who's constantly, give an example of this. Most of you probably don't remember. It's happened a long time ago. And there's several examples, but this just now popped into my head. A lady known as Octomom. If you don't know who she is, research it, check it out. Octomom. She was getting a lot of promotion a long time ago. I don't know, 20 years ago, maybe, something like that. And because she was, I don't know, she had like, they called her Octomom. She had 8 kids. She was on welfare and she was defrauding the system and all this controversy. And by the way, you might want to look into her ethnic lineage. And so anyway, it turned out like because of the exposure, the negative exposure, because she was like a poster child for scamming the welfare system, she became like a endorser, a paid endorser of like PETA, all these companies, and so she was making a lot of money from this negative exposure, endorsing companies, right? And this is why, of course, the people that run the media, they know all this, okay? They know all of this. But the point I'm trying to make is that anyone who's got exposure, a lot of exposure, even negative, it's for a reason. They're creating gatekeepers. That's just the way it works. If you don't want to accept that, well, you can live in your own world of flat earth and whatever. That's what I've learned over the years as a recognized top authority in media deception and manipulation. So that's the first red flag. Whenever someone has a lot of exposure, okay, and they're supposed to be a bad guy. Well, he's bad. Well, why are you talking about him then? Why is he being promoted? Great example, as I've talked about before, was Alex Jones. If Alex Jones is bad, so bad for the establishment, why was he being interviewed and promoted on mainstream media? As I mentioned before, because he was gradually being groomed for the position that Joe Rogan is in now. If Alex Jones had not gone off the deep end with his, he's been off the deep end, but once you get involved with the Sandy Hook thing, that was the end for him. Otherwise, he would have been very mainstream, kind of like Joe Rogan is. Joe Rogan took his place as a Disinfo clown, con man, who also incidentally sells nutritional supplements. Anybody who's funding their operations selling nutritional supplements, that's another red flag. They're a fucking scammer. The nutritional supplements industry is largely bogus. Write that down. Now, you're listening to someone who you say, well, Mike, you're a world expert in the investment landscape, but what do you know about supplements? Folks, I'm a world-class research analyst. I know a lot of things. Okay? From my background, my quantitative background, I've exposed the nutritional supplements industry as a scam a long time ago. And I'm not going to get into that today. But of course, you all know I have an extensive background in the sciences. Okay. So you'll just notice, Alex Jones funded his completely fraudulent operation over the years, selling his penis potions and all this bullshit. Joe Rogan, so on and so forth. The scammers love selling supplements. Why? Because they can get around FDA regulatory guidelines. It's not regulated by the FDA. So they can play word games. Oh, it promotes GI health. It promotes brain health. Well, of course, that implies that it's good for you. It's like a medication, right? So anyway. And some of you that aren't familiar with me, God, this guy's going all over the place. Yeah, you know why? Because a lot of things are connected. If you think of things in a very simplistic mindset, you don't know what the fuck is going on. That's just a fact. Okay? So you see this little snowflake here. This is an ad popped up. And anyway, so you can see this is Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff just released a video. And we're going to talk about that. I just ran across this actually incidentally. This is not the main point. I'm not quite sure what we're going to talk about first. I guess probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of review a couple of things, a couple of videos I've made. And I guess this is a perfect example. This is a good one here. And because there was somebody who commented on my channel on another video about how, oh, well, CoffeeZilla, he exposed Sam Bankman-Fried. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't. CoffeeZilla is a useful idiot. If you don't know what that term means, look it up. Okay? He didn't expose shit. I played a video where I actually exposed it on a live stream. Now, who's going to expose something related to the investment world or pseudo-investment world? Some fucking failed real estate agent looking to make money off of YouTube, pretending to call out scammers when he's selling advertisements for scammers and promoting scammers like Tom Nash, or somebody who's worked on Wall Street, who's got a long and rich history of exposing not only small-time media-based scams, but also scams related with the SEC. The SEC knows me very fucking well. Did you guys see the, you all didn't see it actually. I showed my subscribers. Let me show you guys, by the way, something very quick here. Let me pause a second. Because I ran across this actually recently. I've got a lot of emails saved. And here we go. Because I mentioned this a couple of years ago in a stream. And those individuals out there who were trying to discredit me because I exposed them as scammers and grifters were laughing. Oh, yeah, he says he spoke to Bill Ackman on the phone. Yeah, I did. Remember, kiddies? And you notice these fucking kiddies, they keep their fucking mouths shut now because they've looked into who I am. And say, oh, this guy is a big swinging fucking dick. Even as stupid as they are, as incapable as they are to understand my research and what I've done, they can't deny it's in fucking print. I advise hedge funds. I advise institutions. Now, I'm going to show you a screenshot of an email here where because I mentioned a little story. I was talking about something back during the financial crisis, and I mentioned I was on the phone with Bill Ackman. And he was begging, I was talking to him because I was just basically doing a call to solicit business, to get in more business, research business. Okay. It was great timing. And this is a period when I mentioned before GLG, the professional consulting network. I was getting no business at the time there, and I was wondering what was going on. I sensed something was fishy. It turns out they were involved in insider trading. They didn't care about people like me who were top in the world. They wanted to get inside information. So the hedge funds were contacting people inside companies to get pre-released earnings guidance and stuff like that. I talked about this before. You could look into it if you want. I'm not going to go over it. GLG. They did a documentary on it, I believe. I was in that network. Anyway, so I made a call to Ackman, and I was telling him who I was, what I've done, and I predicted all this stuff. And it's like, I wrote a book. Where's the book? How can I get the book? I kid you not. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have I'm not going to record conversations, but I do have the email, the follow-up email, and I'm going to show you guys. So you can see right here, the date, December 1st, 2008. So for those of you who don't recall the financial crisis was still, the first bailout, the TARP, was actually rejected in Congress, and they had to vote on it again. And so I don't know the official date of its passing. I think it was maybe late November or something like that. But you can see it was still. And you can see here. Okay. There you have it. There's the email. And you can see these files, actually. I sent him the files. So these are actually the chapters, the relevant real estate related chapters. So he had my book. So if Bill Ackman, he had a chance to make a fucking fortune in 2009 because the market didn't bottom until 2009, March 10th, 2009. I even had it there what it was going to go to, 6,500, chapter 17, right? Did I get a thank you from this prick? No. That's why I'm saying fuck off to most of these hedge fund guys. They're a bunch of scheming, stock manipulating Pieces of trash. That's what they are. Especially Bill Ackman's on my fucking blacklist. I would never help this piece of shit after all this bullshit he's doing. Going after students who are supporting, who are against genocide in Palestine, and he wants to come after them and threaten their careers. What kind of piece of shit? Folks, this is what we're talking about when you're dealing with these types of people and their loyalty. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why we have a problem in America. This is why you have Benjamin Netanyahu receives many more standing ovations when he comes and speaks before Congress than our president does. Because who do you think controls Washington? And where do you think that control is coming? It's coming from the very wealthy select people in America who send their money. You understand what's going on, okay? That's what's going on, by the way. Anyway. So I wanted to show you all that. That's just one piece of evidence, by the way, okay? For any fucking doubters. Anybody that fucking doubts me has got brain damage, or they want to try and doubt me because they're part of the guilty crew. They're the guilty crew, okay? So let me just go over now CoffeeZilla, because somebody left a comment. I said, look, CoffeeZilla didn't predict. He's a useful idiot. I predicted it. And I told him about it. And I guess he watched the video and he's shocked. The guy's shocked. He's shocked that CoffeeZilla was promoting Tom Nash. He couldn't believe it. You see? He couldn't believe it.
I forgot Harry Dent, of course, David Stockman. Okay.
And still today, even, CoffeeZilla doesn't come out and say anything. Folks, once again, if you are monetizing your channel, you're a fraud. You're a scammer. It's that simple. Maybe you don't start out that way, but the disease takes over. The disease takes over. And so you start to create content more and more. It's about making that money. And when you got enough subscribers, like the Coffee Boy, you want to come out and start making videos that you're not even qualified to make. Just like, I'm going to explain Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Because he knows he'll get 2-3 million views and he'll make $8,000. That's what I'm talking about. Is that, you understand, folks? And hopefully you saw the video I made on everyone's favorite CEO, right? Which is the former CEO of YouTube. Did you see my video on that? Did you see the comments people were writing about that, about her death? That's encouraging to me. It's encouraging to me that the human population may have a chance when so many people were trashing her because she destroyed YouTube, censoring everything, making it a scam platform. So let's see what we have here. Oh, here you go. So I was able to stop this quickly. This is another scam ad. I've turned off my ad blocker. And take a look. Have you all seen this guy? I'll go over him here in a second. Let's go ahead and listen.
To me in a way I could understand. Then they start seeing profits. The reason behind this is simple.
First of all, you all do know, of course, this text, the way it's in the green, that should scream scam. That should scream, we're trying to go after the dumb money, the idiots.
We're not your typical Wall Street stockbrokers. We are a family on a mission to help you learn how to...
Notice all the screens. Folks, when you have all these screens, someone showing you their screens, they're scammers. Write it the fuck down. Guaranteed. Write it the fuck down. I'm telling you, the big swinging dick of Wall Street. You know how many fucking screens I have? One. Okay? You got it? If you know what you're doing, you don't need all these fucking screens. They want to make it look, wow, it's so complex and you understand? Anybody who's plastered their screens, okay, you can have two. Two's okay, that's fine. My point is, why are you showing us your screens? It's like showing you the fucking Lambo. You got it? You all see this, right? If you don't see it, wake the fuck up. You need to go to con artist school. I can teach it. It's very simple. Because I've seen all the con artists over the years, the little tactics. I think it's pretty obvious once I point it out, but if it's not pointed out, some of these things may not be obvious.
Trade. Hi, I'm Tiffany Luong, and this is my dad, Tom.
Hello, everyone.
Listen, these guys, by the way, and of course, he seems like a nice guy. He's got his whole family in on the fucking scam. His son, now they've got his daughter or whoever, his wife, whatever. And it's a scam. He's a scammer. Hey, dude. Hey, guy, you're a scam. You're a scammer. You're pitching the whole trading shit to people. You're not. Who the fuck are you? You learn to trade in your fucking basement. You don't have expertise. You can't teach it. Folks, let me just tell you something. And this brings up the whole trading thing. I'm probably going to have to talk about this shit, do another stream, and begin the main focus. Let me explain something. If there's a person out there who can trade for a living and do well and beat the index every year, long term, are there people that can? I would say, first of all, are they from the industry? Do they have industry experience, right? If they don't, I would say the chances are probably 1 in 100,000. In other words, random luck. Okay? So what's the point behind that? The point is that just because you can do something doesn't mean you can teach it. You have to be able to teach something. There has to be a certain kind of a system. When you say, well, I'm going to teach you to trade. They don't have a system. There is no system. Okay? I haven't found anyone who can do that. Show me someone who can consistently, over the long term, you can have lower, you can underperform the index over, a few years, but over the long term, what's your performance? And that's also tax adjusted, by the way. Short-term trading yields, capital gains tax at your income rate. Okay? Show me somebody. They don't exist. And if they did, they can't teach it. How do I know this? Well, once again, folks, the best thing you can do is to become familiar with my research, with my insight, the things that I've exposed, I've revealed, I've taught, to understand what I'm talking about. And then you'll realize if he's saying it, well, who am I to doubt this guy? This is the guy's at the top. He's the top. Okay? The only people who are going to be able to trade their way into big profits are going to be guys that are connected to Wall Street. They're connected to insider trading. They're connected to large pools of money where they can sustain large losses. Okay? Any of these trading guys on YouTube and elsewhere you've heard about social media, they're all liars and frauds. And I'm calling them out, all of them. You name it. Anyone who's promoting trading and day trading, especially day trading, absolutely 100% is a scam. No exceptions whatsoever. Okay? Now, you go to these people who are promoting themselves. You tell them about me. You tell them, are you willing to go up against this guy live on a neutral platform? Are you willing to comply with his requests? See, they've got to pass my fucking vetting, not yours. They're going to take advantage of your naivety. You can fake just about anything online now. You can fake live trading. You can create fake statements, everything. Okay? There's all types of, these guys the scammers are always creating new tactics. Now, this guy, I don't know that he's a flat out fraud where you have versus people that you have, for instance, that promote penny stocks who get you into their trading rooms and they front run and it looks like they're trading successfully, but they're actually using their members to pump up their stock price. Anyone who promotes day trading is a 1 billion% fraud and scam artist. Write that the fuck down. That's the law. Write it the fuck down. And you tell them. You tell everybody. Once again, it really helps you if you know who I am and my fucking track record. There's nobody that has higher credibility than me. Nobody. Nobody. That's fact. You say, well, how's that? Why would you say that, Mike? I mean, I'll tell you why. Here's the reason why. Because are there people out there who might know as much as me? Yeah. And in fact, there's people that know more than me. Because why? Because I do a certain thing, right? I'm a research analyst. I'm not a fund manager. Do I know as much as, I'm not going to say all, because some fund managers are fucking idiots. Let's talk about the top fund managers out there. Do they know? Do I know as much as them in terms of fund management? Of course not, because that's not what I do, right? Just like fund managers, no matter how good you think they are, they don't know as much about the research and analyzing companies as me. That's why they have a whole army of people that they utilize, right? But here's the point. The point is that when you're talking about someone like myself who doesn't pull the punches, I speak the 100% truth. Think about who your top fund manager is in the world. Who do you think that is? You can name anybody you want, okay? You can name, whoever. You want to name Warren Buffett or, Bill, whoever you want. The bottom line is this. When's the last time they ever came out and told you about all the fraud in the media, the financial media? Never. Never. That's why I have the highest credibility, because I'm exposing the whole circle, the full Monty. You understand? Because I can't be bought off. Now, this guy, at the very best of situations for him, he's a scammer. Why? Because he's trying to sell people this idea that he can teach them to outcompete the market. And what's his competitive advantage? He probably thinks it's technicals. Folks, technical analysis is not a competitive advantage. Write that down. If you think so, you are light years behind at what the fuck is going on. The problem is when people that don't know anything, they learn stuff. They think, oh, well, gosh, I've learned so much. I'm really good now. It doesn't matter how much you fucking learned. Can you beat guys like me? If you can't beat guys like me, you're going to get fucked. You got it? It's a competitive game. It's football. It's football. You understand? There's two teams. One team is the pros. The other team is the junior varsity in high school. One's the smart money, one's the dumb money. The pros, you're talking about the top guys, the most experienced guys, the best connected guys, the guys with insider information, the guys with all types of advantages, in addition to their endless source of human capital, financial capital. Impossible to beat consistently. Can't do it. You got it? When anyone promotes trading, it's like, yeah, I can teach you how to trade and you can do that. Well, you can do this. They're frauds. It's impossible. Okay? You all need to spread this around the whole fucking world. Go to all these trading guys. They'll set fucking world records in running time, as when they want to running away from me. Guarantee you that. Guaranteed. Okay? They're all frauds. They're all scammers. Go ahead and continue this.
My dad used to be a system design engineer, so when he got into trading over 25 years ago, he tested every strategy he could find. Then he optimized each one and made a strategy of his own. Decades later, my dad's strategy is intuitive, and it gives new traders all the tools they need to make successful trades. We've even...
You see that? So he came up with this system. He's an engineer. Okay. He's a smart guy. So he came out, he's tested over. Okay. Okay. So why aren't you running a fucking fund? Why aren't people bending over backwards, handing you cash to manage a fund if you got this system? You understand, folks? If you got this special system, why are you selling it? Why are you sharing it? Everybody that you teach your system means that you're going to make less money on that trade. Okay? If you teach someone something that's unique and highly valuable, it becomes less valuable the more people that know it. Got it? The reason why he's doing all this is because he doesn't know jack shit. He doesn't know shit. If I can't teach somebody that doesn't know jack shit to become a, quote, she says successful. What's a successful trader? Define success. Successful trader means you're beating the fucking index. Not 1 year, not 2 years. Over 10 years, at least. And you're beating it significantly. You know why? Because the time and money and effort that you're spending trading, staring at a fucking screen all day, every day. Right? That's wasted time. Just buy the fucking index and go on with your life. You understand? This is catered towards the dumb money. This guy is a scammer, just like all these guys. Folks, don't make the mistake of comparing trading scammers and thinking, well, he seems less of a scammer. Maybe he's legit. They all have their own MO. Okay? They all have their own MO. There is no less of a scammer. They're all scammers. Final point, and I'll move on. I'm not going to listen to this bullshit anymore. But here's the final point. If you are offering a trading service or you're selling something with trading, saying, I can teach you to be successful. Show me, prove it to me. Show me your trades. If you are selling an alert service, right? Alert service where you're sending out buy and sell signals, right? The very first thing you must demand to see is their fucking third-party audited track record on their transactions. Okay? And that's since inception. You will never see that anywhere. Why? Why is that? Why? Okay? When you're talking about something specific like that, you understand. They're giving you buy, sell, buy, sell. And now something less specific, if you're selling a course, you say, well, I can teach you how to be successful. Well, okay, so show me how you're successful. This is how you have these people that on YouTube especially who have created facades to make it imply that they're successful. For instance, meet Kevin with all his false statements and bullshit. You understand? I want everyone hearing this to go to your favorite guru, your favorite trading guru, or one that you know is a fraud, and you tell them about who the fuck I am. That means you have to know who the fuck I am first. You got to research my track record. Okay? It's quite simple. Let's get serious here. You don't have to spend, probably take most of you 5 years or more to really go through and understand, appreciate my track record. But let's make it simple. All you got to do is take a look at the 2 URL links showing the chapters on the real estate bubble, linked to the financial crisis, which I predicted. Okay, the books I wrote 2006 and early 2007. When you see that, okay, and then you ask yourself, okay, how many people really predicted the financial crisis? First of all, you're going to hear 10 people, whatever, and then look, they didn't do it. Show me that's all lies. Fucking lies. Okay? That's all lies. Don't believe what the media says. You show me the proof. You find the proof. Prove it to yourself. Okay? And you can take a look at all those guys who the media claims predicted it. Take a look at their ethnicity. There's one thing in common. Got it? About had it with all this bullshit. Anybody want to deny that? That's what's going on, folks. It's the fucking fraud out there, enriching people that don't deserve it, while banning others and putting the public in harm's way. That's the financial media. That's how they operate. Financial media is also YouTube now. But all you have to do, best case scenario of these people, let's say they all predicted it. Okay? Let's just assume they did. Let's actually qualify and quantify the predictions. Did they come out and write it in a book, enabling everyone to make a fortune like I did, telling people Fannie and Freddie would go bankrupt, be bailed out by the taxpayers, which nobody in the world mentioned? They just went with the easy. The fund managers didn't predict it. They just made a bet, right? Nobody came out in advance, put it in print. But aside, go ahead and assume that these shysters predicted it. The bottom line, folks, after that, what have they done? They've all blown up. They've all blown the fuck up. You know why? They didn't predict shit. The fund managers made a bet, an easy bet. And as I've shown you already, by the way, with that email to Bill Ackman, I don't know what Bill Ackman did, how he returned, what he returned, his fund returned in 2009. But you've seen, he had my book. We don't know that Bill Ackman didn't profit from the information in my book. Because the market went down another shitload between December and March 2009. And I actually called the bottom as well, right? That's just one example. There are people that had my book long before that. That's why I'm not going to disseminate any more information to the public. No, it doesn't work that way anymore. It's all private. People are going to pay to play. Because I want people stealing my shit. Because what happens, the people that got all the exposure, they steal shit from people who don't have exposure. And making them look like a genius. And they profit off my hard work. My blood, sweat, and tears. So the point is this. At the very minimum, I predicted the financial crisis. I'm in a handful of elite people. And I turned bullish at the exact bottom. That's right. It's proven. It's out there. You see the publications. So I'm at the handful of the most elite investment analysts in world history. No doubt about it. That's the worst case devil's advocate scenario, whereby there's other people that actually predicted the financial crisis, which there are not. There are not. That's fact. Show me evidence that refutes that. Show me the evidence, please. I mean, I'm willing to listen. The point is, all you got to know is the financial crisis. That right there puts me in a category, an elite category. So that's all you got to do if you want the lazy way out, is to be familiar with my credibility. And you go then, once you know that, and you call out these fucking scammers and see what they're going to say. What are they going to say? They're going to run. They're going to run scared, guaranteed. I mean, I'm willing to bet, actually, you don't even need that. Just from someone who's got Wall Street experience, they're going to run. They're going to run. Because their audience is the sheep. You understand? That's their audience. They don't want to deal with someone who knows what the hell's going on, someone who's been in the industry, because they'll call them out for the frauds that they are. Name the trading guru. They're all frauds for many reasons. Many of them operate in different ways, but they're all, at the end of the day, they're all scam artists. Okay? And then you have, of course, the Tom Nash guys, the guys that pretend like they're analysts. And they also take advantage of the stupid people. They're all over the place, folks. So, I mean, I proved it, with Kyle Bass. You saw the videos on Kyle. He got lucky. He wasn't implicated in, taking money, illegal proceeds from Mr. Kwok, right? He somehow escaped that, which I don't know how. Well, I do know how. After all, his name is Kyle Bass. Okay. After all, he's also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. So, what I'm going to do now, this is the prelude. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about Robert Kiyosaki, huge con artist, scammer, disinfo, clown. Okay? He's pumping gold again, of course. We're going to talk about this guy, Andy Schectman. Andy Schectman, the owner of Miles Franklin. Okay? Going to show some videos on him. And I just ran across this. I haven't even really looked into it, but I know Miles Franklin. We're going to talk about them and their role in the whole gold pumping crime syndicate. And then also, we're going to close with the Peter Schiff video. This might be a whole new session in and of itself. So with that, I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to cut this stream. I don't want to make the streams too long. And I'm going to boot it up now with a new one. So you're welcome to return.